How's everybody doing tonight? This is Chopping It Up Hardcore with Hal Capone, discussion number 51. Tonight, I have a very special guest. I'm speaking with Doro, Samson, Valdez from the amazing band Dianacrawls. She's also in a band called Maree. Hopefully I said that right. Can't wait to talk to her. Definitely love Dianacrawls so much, so I'm super stoked on this talk. And I'm sure we'll be talking about a little bit of movies too, because I think she is a little movie buff like I am too. So super stoked, and hope everybody's doing good. This is Car Edition Part 2. My daughter had a little graduating party from, there you are, hold on.
Hey.
Hey.
All right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me too?
Yep.
Perfect.
Nice. Thank you so much for doing this and taking time out. I know it's pretty much hot everywhere, and
it is.
like everywhere. So my daughter was having a little graduation party at my house. She graduated 5th grade, so she had a few friends over, and then my sister-in-law and her friends were over, so everybody was on my Wi-Fi. So I had to take a little drive to
oh my God.
Yeah. All right.
Well, it is Sunday. It is a big day where people gather, so I understand that.
Yeah, so I want to thank you so much again, and like I said, it's been great. I was super stoked on this talk because, like I said, I always talk about Dianacrawls in a lot of my talks that I have, and it's just really great to talk about it, and especially I hope I didn't botch the name of Maree. Is that right?
Maree Noire?
Yeah, did I get it right?
Honestly, I don't know a lot of English people that say it right, so it's no issue at all.
Yeah.
But thank you for asking me too, honestly. And yeah, I'm really happy and honored that you would even mention Dianacrawls.
No problem. Like I said, I've been listening to Dianacrawls for a long time, and anybody that hasn't heard it, I usually send them a link to it. I know Jordan from Blood Brothers didn't hear you guys, so I sent him a link. I sent him a link too, and he was like, "Oh, thank you so much for sending me this," and stuff like that. So I'm always trying to spread the love.
Thanks. It feels warm.
Usually when I start out, the first question I usually ask is, what got you into punk and hardcore, and what music were you listening to before punk and hardcore?
Like as a kid, you mean?
Yeah, kind of like were you listening to classic rock or pop music or stuff like that? And then what kind of grabbed you into the punk and hardcore scene?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, when I was younger, I was always under the impression that if you commit to one kind of music, you had to be like if you were punk, you only listened to punk. And if you were into pop music, you only listen to pop music. So I had a lot of different phases where I would be like, okay, no, I love pop music. So I would only listen to I really loved Shakira when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh no, but I also love Blink-182. So then I was like, oh, I'm punk. And I really loved pop punk too. And I also had a classic music phase where so one of the first instrument I played was violin. So when I was in that phase, I would listen to a lot of classical music. And then I think what really drew me into punk and hardcore is metalcore. I feel it's most people is like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I listened to Alexis on Fire first, and then people showed me Suicide Silence, and then in Quebec we had Blind Witness, which is the classic deathcore metalcore band around here. And then I met some people that were really more into the underground Screamo scene, and then I found out about French Screamo from France, Daitro and Sednan Sasiata, and then I got more and I knew about Orchid, but that came later. I really started with Alexis on Fire and stuff like that before I got into more the more niche part of it.
Yeah. Now were you going to shows when you were listening to metalcore? Did you kind of go to metalcore shows or?
Yes, but the thing is, like when I started listening to metalcore, I lived in northern Quebec, so there's not a lot of shows going on there. There is, but not like there isn't like that many metalcore bands that plays there. Or maybe there was. I just didn't know about it. So
Yeah.
I did see some shows, but not like I think the shows I saw first were more black metal.
Hmm.
It was I had like a black metal phase when I was in high school, and so there was like one. I think the first show I went to, it was in a church basement, and it was actually not a really legit black metal band. Like later, I found out that it was like a not a cool black metal band.
Yeah.
I was too young to understand that at the time, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Uh-huh.
So what were the first like when you listened to that metalcore? It kind of were you like I kind of like this scene. I want to like see what else is in the scene. Were you playing guitar at that point or not at all?
No, no. I started playing guitar in my 20s. So when I was in high school, I loved metalcore, but to me, like being in a band, it was like something that you can't achieve because like all my favorite bands were in like big bands still.
Yeah.
And I don't know, yeah, I was kind of really stuck in northern Quebec, so I didn't really like every time I wanted to go see a show in Montreal, it was 6 hour drive and my
Oh,
mom
really?
wouldn't let me go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember we had the Vans Warped Tour in Montreal and all my friends would go and I was like, fuck, I
Yeah.
wish I could go too. But yeah, so it took a while before I could actually go to the shows that I wanted to. I think I missed out on a lot of the really big shows,
Yeah.
like in like 2008, 2007. That's like the time when a lot of really good bands were still on, and a lot of my friends saw shows in those years, but I missed all of them.
Yeah, yeah. I always say that Canada always has had such a great scene up there, and so many great bands, and very like different kinds of bands too. It's not all like it seems like a lot of the bands from Canada don't sound the same at all. Like
Mhm.
that's what I love. That's what I love about Dianacrawls. Like if you play one song from you know the first album or you play from Glitter Manifesto, you can't really say like if you hear it and you show somebody, you can't be like, oh, that's Dianacrawls because it sounds so different, and that's what I like about it. It kind of bridges the gap with like a bunch of different things, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
definitely.
and I feel like Canada bands do that a lot. There's so many
Uh-huh.
bands that I love that are from Canada. Like I was talking to Chris Colahan a couple weeks ago, and I mean I'm a huge Left 4 Dead fan, The Swarm, and Sect, which is really great now.
Yeah.
And just like I set up a band down here in New Hampshire called Strawman Fallacy. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they were from
Yeah.
Toronto.
Okay.
They were really like heavy chaotic screamo. So
Uh-huh.
it's just been like a love of mine for Canada bands. Me and Ron talk about it all the time. Ron from Gene Scene Creamers, he runs a small label, and
Yeah, yeah.
we're always talking about Canada bands and stuff like that. Sorry,
Uh-huh.
I went off on a sidebar.
No, I get it. There is a lot of really good bands here, and it's really nice to like. I feel like Canada bands. I mean, a lot of people I don't know them personally, but I relate to them just because we're like the Canadian scene. But yeah, I really love the bands that we have around here. Like, I know you did an episode with Amy too,
Corey, yeah,
and yeah, exactly. And like Maria, I fucking love them, and so yeah, it's epic.
yeah. O'Brien Sky is so good. I
Oh
love
yeah,
that
I
band too. That's so
mhm,
good.
yeah.
So with playing guitar, what kind of got you into playing guitar? Were you just like you wanted to pick it up one day and then you just picked it up and that's how it kind
Mhm.
of went in your 20s?
Yeah, I I think I always had an interest in guitar, but I think in my head I was under the impression that I couldn't do it for some reason for a long time, and then eventually I started playing a little bit, and I had like someone teach me a lot. And then once I knew the basic, I was like, okay, I can actually go on YouTube and learn songs, and maybe I can actually be in a band and write stuff,
Yeah.
which I did, and yeah.
Now, when you first started playing, did you feel like, you know, the feeling of like, I can do this? Like, I know you took a while because I heard the Sean Decker interview that you did,
Yeah.
and it took you a little while to get your confidence to where you like wanted to get into Dianacrawls. But when you first started playing and you started playing notes and stuff like that, were you like, this is the thing I want to do? Like once you
Oh
started
yeah.
like being able to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've tried a couple different instruments. Like the first instruments I played was the violin and piano, and I really love these instruments. But I feel like the guitar is the one that I like once I was comfortable playing, I was like, okay, this is really the instrument that I want to like keep playing and eventually maybe shred.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also like when I started playing, I was really like from the start motivated to learn about amps and pedals and like different kind of guitars and stuff like that. And I always liked the like culture around the instrument,
Yeah.
like watching videos, and I don't know. Yeah, once I started at first I wasn't sure because at first I was like I don't understand how anyone can do anything. But once I started getting more comfortable, I was like, okay, yeah, I want to do this. I want to play guitar and eventually shred.
Now, how did you become friends with? I know you were friends with the people in Dianacrawls before you joined the band. I know they didn't have a guitar player and they were playing without a guitar player.
Yeah.
How did you become friends with them, and how did you kind of work yourself into the band? Obviously, they were probably looking for a guitar player, and you were friends with them. But
Yeah.
how did you guys first become friends when you were just hanging out?
Uh-huh. So Robin, the drummer, we lived together for 4 years. So we were roommates and like friends before Dianacrawls. And then David, the bassist. So Robin and David started like jamming together. And David, I knew him because he played in other bands that. So I've seen him in shows and everything, but we weren't super close at first. So I was mainly friends with the drummer and Miala, the singer. They were from Quebec. I guess it's just like basically the scene. Like at some point, you just know everyone, and
Yeah.
people make bands. And yeah, it was I don't know. We were just kind of friends already a little bit
Yeah.
from the scene, from shows and
Yeah.
like
And
that.
you only missed one show, right? They only played one show without you, but
Yeah,
you were actually
after
practicing.
after the episode with Sean Decker came out, David, the bassist, was like, actually, you missed 2 shows. So I missed 2 shows.
Two shows.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. um, yeah. So the recording process, how was that for you? I know that like was it sporadic defenestration? Is that the one that you had to kind of go back and re-record? Is that the one that you
Yeah.
guys re-recorded because his bass was like tuned down or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, because it was my first recording, so it was kind of like a little bit stressful. Like, you know, the first time you record, it feels like you can't play anymore.
Yeah.
And and yeah, and when everything sounded off, I was like, oh my God, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I feel like when I play, it sounds right, but then when I'm not playing and I'm actually listening, it sounds really bad. So yeah, first recording wasn't the best one.
Yeah. But once you guys got it right, I think the response was really good because I love that 6 song. Was it just a cassette that came out? It was You
Yeah.
guys only released a cassette, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I love that so much. That's so good.
Thank
And I
you.
always, like I said, I always push it to everybody that's never heard it, because it's one of my favorite things to listen to, definitely. Um,
Well, thanks so much.
um, so, I guess like what I was trying to say is um, Dianacrawls, the four-way split. How did that work out when Frail Body and Infant Island and Masanera? How did that all come together? Was that No Funeral that put that out?
No, it was I think at first it was a split that um like Masanera and Frail Body and Infant Island probably had planned. The thing is that Mark, the drummer from Masanera, they kept coming to Montreal and we were super close with them.
Yeah.
And so at some point they were just like, yo, do you want to be on that split? And we were like, yes, for sure. Let's do this. And so I don't know if I'm, I was under the impression that they had already like a three-way split going on. And
Yeah.
then Mark asked Dianacrawls to join in. And yeah, it took a while for it to finally like come out just as like any split.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really happy with it that because it's all people like with Maree Noire, we toured with Frail Body, so we're like really close to them too. I love these guys so much.
Yeah.
And Infant Island, they played in Montreal. We played with them when we toured in Richmond. So and Massanera, we're super close to them too. So it's like literally like a friend split. And yeah,
Now,
I was really stoked about it.
when you went on tour with Mahanwa, you did a few state dates. How was playing in the United States for you?
It was really nice. It was like, I feel like once we did that, we were like, okay, like, we need to do this. We need to come as often as we can. And like, it sucks because we toured on the summer of 2019 and then like the end of the summer. And then we were like, okay, next spring we're going to Europe and we have to go back to the States. And then COVID happened. So it feels like we got so hyped from that tour because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then everything, like, the rest of the story. But yeah, I really love touring the States. I really love the people. And I think also touring with Frail Buddy was just really fun because they're crazy guys.
Yeah. I love Frail Body too. That's so good. What was your favorite show in the States that you played personally for you?
Um, I think my favorite was the Richmond show. It was with Portrayal of Guilt, Awake but Still in Bed, Infant Island, Frail Buddy, and there was another Richmond local band too. I can't remember the name. I'm sorry about that, but it was really sick. There was also a show that we did in Detroit. It was like we actually didn't have anything booked, so we got something booked really last minute in like a house basement.
Yeah.
And there was probably like maybe 4 people except for
Oh,
the
really?
band. But I don't know, it was just like so crazy because it was all so sudden and like, okay, this guy is letting us play in their basement, so I guess we'll play there. And technically it was a shitty show, but to me it was a sick show just because
Yeah.
it was
Sometimes
it was it was
sometimes
crazy.
basement shows are the best shows that I've been to. Do a lot of basement shows happen in Canada?
Yeah, well, it depends. In Montreal, had a couple we had a couple like house venues. Some of them shut down. I feel like there was definitely more before. Um, but now like I moved to Halifax a couple months ago, and I know that in Halifax it's not really a thing. But it depends, depending where you are, it can be a thing, but I feel like maybe it's even more a thing in the States because more people live in houses. Maybe I'm
I
wrong, but
I think in the like Northeast, like New England especially, and maybe New York and New Jersey, it happens a lot because if you go down to like Florida, like down that way, they don't have basements down there. So I think it
Oh,
from
yeah.
maybe Richmond up, like there's a ton of basement shows. But as you get hotter, or, like even towards Arizona, they don't really have basements out there either. So I think
Mhm.
like the majority of the basement shows are up in New England area or the Northeast.
Mhm.
I know California usually has like living room shows because they don't usually have basements either, so they'll have it right in their
Uh-huh.
living room, which is cool too.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
so
I
yeah, it
used
was
to
just
live the place I used to live with Robin, the drummer, and Dianacrawls. It's in Montreal, and we used to have living room shows. We had like Respire and
oh nice.
yeah, we had a couple like really great shows there. Living room shows are also sick.
Yeah, definitely. Now, did anybody get to videotape your tours? Like what the tour you went down into the United States? Did you have anybody that was like filming what you guys did for shows and stuff?
No, not really. I know some people took pictures, but we didn't have anyone filming specifically.
Yeah,
But also
no.
it was our first tour. Like it was the first time that we played in the States, because for us, crossing the border is something extremely stressful.
Yeah,
So we've never done it before. So like our plan was just to play shows, and we weren't expecting much. We were just like, we just hope that we can cross the borders. We didn't plan anything like to make it like that memorable, but I feel like next time maybe it could be something that we could do.
yeah. It was almost like a tease for you guys to tour down here, and then COVID hits, and then
Oh
all
yeah,
the plans, like even
100%.
Europe and stuff like that. It's just that like kind of ruins everybody's plans.
Mm-hmm.
Now that
Yeah.
things are opening up, I know Canada is still very, very tight with the restrictions right now, but
Hmm.
hopefully maybe towards the end of the summer, early fall, Canada opens up a little bit, and then maybe you guys could like tour or I know, like I said, they're very tight restriction-wise there. Are you still living in Halifax right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, at this moment, I'm in Montreal. I'm in my friend's house, but
Yeah,
yeah, I moved in February, and I'm planning to stay there for a little bit.
yeah. Now, speaking of Montreal, are you a hockey fan? Because Montreal Canadiens are in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, I know. My mom is a really big hockey fan, and whenever the Canadians are like getting closer to winning, I'm like, then I get interested. Like when I saw that they were that far in the elimination process, I was like, oh, that's my team, the Canadians. Let's go.
Yeah. I've been a Canadiens fan for a very, very long time. And same thing with Ron. He's a huge Canadiens fan. It's weird that like I should be a Bruins fan, but of course I
Uh-huh.
love their rival, the Montreal Canadiens. So
Yeah,
Ron just said,
it's
"Go,
the
Habs,
same
go."
over
So,
here. A lot of people are from here, but their team is the Bruins. They're like,
oh, no kidding.
uh-huh.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I had to ask that. I also want to ask about the Primus cover. Whose idea was coming up with a Primus cover to play?
I think I really don't remember whose idea, but the thing is that Primus is a really big influence for Dianacrawls. Like, so maybe it just came because the thing is like I don't know. I think it probably came from it probably just like got generated from the band literally because
Yeah,
it is like a really big part of the band. Everybody in the band loves Primus. And yeah, I don't know if it's someone specific, but I remember that when we did it the first time, like people really like freaked out, and it was really sick playing it
yeah.
live.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a great cover. I love that cover so much. And you can kind of hear the influence in Dianacrawls with like, I feel like the funky bass lines that you guys
Mhm.
pull off and stuff like that. And the guitar parts where, like you were saying to Sean, you don't have to really like shred for the guitar to like have an impact on the song. You know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
just the not simple, but like just the play wise of it has
Hmm.
like a huge impact on the song going forth with
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Oh,
Uh-huh.
sorry. Go ahead.
Whenever I listen to Primus, I realize that like the guitarist almost does nothing. He's just like doing some punches here and there, like filling the space, but he's not like shredding. He's not like constantly playing. And I think that once like when you realize that in Primus, that like for me that's when I was like, okay, I don't have to like constantly be like shredding. I can just fill and like know my space in the band and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because it has a huge impact. Like just
Hmm.
filling those spaces makes the song itself when you're doing that. Um,
Hmm.
what other influences, like what bands influenced Dianacrawls too besides Primus? What other bands kind of were you guys into?
I think all of us we were really into the Locusts too.
Mm.
And there's even a song on the latest EP, A Glitter Manifesto. There's a song that there's a riff that we literally ripped off from the Locust. So that's definitely a big inspiration. And Primus, for me personally, the bands that really influence my playing are like Animal Faces. I
Mm-hmm.
like the like kind of like a little bit mathy but still screamo at the same time.
Yep.
And Daughters too. Daughters 100%. They were always a really big influence. I think the thing in Dianacrawls is we all have very different influences. Like Robin is really more into funk and stuff like that, like funky stuff. And then David is more into metal, but also funk, weird bass playing. I'm more into the screamo side than them. So yeah, I don't think as a band I would say the influences is probably Primus and the Locust,
Yeah.
and then we all have our individual influences.
Yeah. Now with Daughters, you said Daughters. Do you are you more do you like the older stuff better, or do you like the newer stuff that they've been putting out lately?
Yeah, I would say the older stuff, but I also really love like the last album they put out. I probably listened to it like 150 times.
Yeah.
But it's so good. I really love it. But also like the first like Canada songs, I've listened to it so many times. And also As the Sun Sets, like before, I also listened to that a lot too. So all of Daughters, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Lex is such a great frontman too. Like,
Oh
have
yeah.
you seen Daughters play live up in Canada?
Yeah, I have two times, but not like I
Not
have
their
like
older stuff.
when they came back, yeah, when they
Yeah.
started again. So I haven't seen them like in the early 2000 when I know that Lex was like really intense on scene and I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah. Yeah. Being from around the area that they were from, like Providence is probably maybe a little less than 2 hours away from me. So I got to see
Hmm.
Daughters like a bunch of times, and As the Sun Sets, like I told you before, I knew John and Lex when they were possibly 15 years old. They were in a band called Cast Off
That's
Skin
crazy.
way back in the day, and so I've known those guys for a while. They've been really, really.
Uh-huh.
I mean, especially Lex, and now that I've gotten a friendship with Nick too when he joined the band after As the
Hmm.
Sun Sets, and those guys are just
Yeah, yeah.
great, great guys. So like really, really kind and fun to talk to. So
It's so
maybe,
funny because one time I went to see a show. I went to see Graf Orlik in
yeah,
Providence. And I was staying with one of my friends there, and we went to a coffee place the next day, and we saw Nick, and my friend was friends with him, so they started talking, and the whole time I was like, oh my God, it's the guy from Daughters. And
you,
yeah, I was like, I remember they were planning their show. They had a show announced in Montreal, and Dianacrawls actually tried to play that show. But it ended up not working. I think it was like they already had like openers planned,
yeah,
but a lot of people were like, please put Dianacrawls on the bill. And at some point I was thinking that maybe it would happen. and it didn't. But I remember when I was in Providence and I saw him, I was like, maybe I should ask him to push Dianacrawls on the bill. But
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna fangirl too much.
Well, I'll definitely like when COVID restrictions stop and when daughter starts playing again, I'm sure I'll gladly put a good word in for Dianacrawls and
Yeah, we
when
have
they
to
start
make it
playing.
happen.
Definitely, I'll push for it. I'll definitely get in touch with Nick and Lex and John and see if I can make it work. Definitely, that's awesome that you like daughters though. I just wanted to talk about Dianacrawls for a little bit more. Glitter Manifesto. What was your ideas between like the first song is like the electronic song, and then the last song is almost like an indie, almost with like an '80s new wave flair to it. What was the thought process to just switch it up like that on that? Did it come out on a cassette too as well? That was a cassette too, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
What was the
exactly.
thought process on kind of switching it up?
I think it's like the thing with Dianacrawls is we want to like have no boundaries as much as possible. Like it's always like intense music, but we don't want to have to be limited
Hmm.
by that. So, and Robin, the drummer, does a lot of beats. He collaborates with people that raps over his beats, so he's really into that. And we were like, we should do a beat or just like an opening track that isn't screamo, isn't guitars or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the last song, it's a song that when I lived with Robin, everybody would play this song in the living room. So a lot of people actually know this song, like how to play it and the lyrics to it,
Yeah.
because we would just all play it like as a joke for fun in the living room. And then we were like, okay, let's just actually record it and make it a real song, not just a living room song.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea is really to kind of say, like, as a statement that we don't want to just be labeled as like a screamo band or
Yeah.
like a, and also the like surprise effect too, like you're not really expecting that. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't want restrictions with that band. And it looks like
Mhm.
that band to me looks like you guys are all having like the time of your life, having fun
Yeah.
and doing whatever you want and just having fun. And like you said,
Uh-huh.
whatever you guys have on your mind, you just do, and that's what makes it so genuine. Listening
Mhm.
to it and just seeing you guys on pictures and stuff like that with the corpse paint, but like with like the party clothes on and stuff like that. It just that
Exactly.
it's very very refreshing and it's very rare because you don't see that too often in the scene. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
and another thing I like to ask is me and Ron always talk about Screamo because I'm older obviously, and we never knew Screamo was a thing until after all the like big Screamo bands had already like broken up and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden the word came in and was like, oh, Orchid and Reverse Lament and You and I and City of Caterpillar, all those, they're like Screamo bands. Like, so I never really heard that term. It was just hardcore and punk to me. What
Mhm.
does Screamo mean to you? Like, because obviously you're younger and so what does the word Screamo mean to you?
Yeah. I think like for me, screamo is like, I don't know, when I'll recognize screamo when it makes me feel like a really intense melancholia. Can you say that word in English?
I
Melancholy.
know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
Like
about.
like nostalgia, or like just like every chord is like it's like a minor chord and it's sad, and but it's also like brutal. I don't know. To me, it's like the difference between like hardcore, because I feel like hardcore, it's brutal, but it's not necessarily like, it
Emotional.
doesn't, yeah, it doesn't have like this like really strong emotional like slap in the face. And but I think my vision also changed after time, because I feel like not all screamo are like so emotionally like charged. But yeah, to me, Screamo is like emotionally charged music, I would say.
Yeah, I hear emo violence a lot too. I
Yeah,
hear that
emo
term
violence.
like
Yeah.
I hear
Uh-huh.
that too.
Uh-huh.
Now, did Dianacrawls ever play the United States, or they always play in Canada? Did you guys ever play the
Yeah,
States?
always in Canada. Yeah, we've never had the chance to play. Um, yeah, but we really want to. As soon as we can, we'll definitely try to make it work. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That. Now, what place in the United States would you like to go? Would you like to go out west towards California? Because I know you were born in Compton, California.
Yes.
Would you like to go out that way, or would you like kind of hit the East Coast again, like you did with Mahawa?
I feel like I would probably do the East Coast first because it's the place that we know the most people and it's the easiest for us. Also just planning, like you just need a car and maybe we can have another band of friends that can share us gear. So that would definitely be the easiest, but I really want to tour the West Coast too, eventually.
Yeah, that
It
would be
would-
awesome.
yeah.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I know. Touring, I like. Speaking of touring, are you guys working on any new material right now, Dianacrawls?
Yeah, we just practiced yesterday actually, and we have right now we have a split that's coming up, and we have basically almost everything to record an LP, but we want to maybe write a couple more songs and like fill like we want to do possibly like a really big release, like maybe like 30 minutes
Yeah,
or like an actual release, because all we've released yet is just like EPs or splits.
yeah.
So yeah, right now we're working on that. And
So like a full length, how many songs would you be talking about? Maybe like 10 songs?
yeah, it's hard to say because our songs can be like 30 seconds. Sometimes we'll do like 3 minutes. So it's hard to say exactly. So we were like, we actually talked about this yesterday, and we were like, maybe it's best to not say a specific number of
Yeah,
songs, but more like how much time we would want for a release.
yeah.
Yeah. I said
So
20 minutes, they said 30 minutes. So
yeah.
we'll see.
Now with the split, that's Botfly that you did the split with, correct?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And when is that supposed to come out?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I should ask. Because Butterfly just released a split, so I think maybe we'll wait until this split like cools off a little bit, and then we'll release our split.
Yeah. Now
And
how many songs is on that by Dianacrawls?
it's two songs, but the way we did it is that it's kind of like one song where you have a like a synth intro, and then you
Yeah.
have a song, and then you have like some weird inter song thing, and then you have the second song, but it's
Oh, nice.
all like on one track.
Yeah.
So it's
Now,
two songs.
are you talking about the Botfly split that Cell Press, and what was the other
Yeah,
band that was on that record that had just come out?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that just came out, and we're waiting on like I think. I mean, we haven't had the discussion yet specifically, but I think maybe we should wait a little bit and then
Yeah.
release our split there. I'm
Yeah.
really excited for that to come out because both Butterfly and our songs, they're really amazing. So I'm really stoked for people to hear them.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear them. Cell Press is from Montreal, aren't they? Is Cell Press
Uh,
from?
yeah, maybe. I thought they were from Ottawa, so
Oh, maybe
maybe
they
I'm
are
wrong.
from Ottawa. Yeah, you could be right. Yeah, I knew they were. For some reason, I thought they were from Montreal, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I think I don't have like I'm not sure 100%. They
Yeah.
might be from Montreal.
um, Now, when you joined Mahawa, were they already a band? Like, I don't know too much about that band. I've listened to them a bunch of times, but what did you record everything that's come out by them, or did you kind of join the band after a certain
No,
things came out?
yeah, I joined after. So when I think Encéphale came out, and then there was a split, the first split that came out, and so I joined after that. So yeah, there's been a lot of change in the band. The first guitarist at first was like, oh, it would be nice to have a second guitar. So that was in 2018, I think. And then eventually that first guitarist left the band, and then we had our other friend Johan to join the band. So there's been a lot of change. So we've only released a single and the split with Amitié and Empatia since I joined the band. But we're working on an LP as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, the sound has changed too since you've joined the band.
yeah.
Like even vocally a little bit, it's changed a little bit. In my mind, it has a. I like the Crowning split as well, but I feel like
Oh, yeah.
the single that you said you were on and the Amiti split, like the music's gotten a lot. I don't know. I wouldn't say heavier, but just like a different vein of sound. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I feel like Mathieu, the first guitarist, he was more like into like delays and like like dreamy guitar tones.
Yeah.
And I'm more in like a not a raw guitar tone, but I use less delay, and I think my playing too is less like I think his playing was a little bit more like post rock, and maybe my playing and Johan's playing. Johan has been on the split with Amitié, so the split with Amitié I feel is like really the new sound of Maree Noire, and yeah, I loved Maree Noire before, but I really love what's gonna come next and the things we've released. Yeah, it's different, but the same at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. What now? Are you working on new songs with that band as well, right now?
Oh yeah. We've been working slowly, but we definitely have a lot of songs, and I think eventually we can start talking about recording. I'm really excited for that because I think in the songs that we've written, there's some of the songs that to this day, I think they're probably my favorite songs that I've ever like written or played on. So I'm really excited for this LP to come out because there's some really, really good songs. Not to be like, um, I'm not
You don't
saying,
want to toot your own horn, like you
yeah,
said.
no, exactly. Like maybe people will be like, okay, she was like exaggerating a bit, but personally, I really like those songs.
So when do you think that'll come into the fold, like time wise? Do you think it'll be like 2022 that we'll hear those songs, or?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure because the thing is, Michael, the drummer, lives in Toronto. I'm in Halifax right now, and so it's hard to all be in tune. And also, the last time we've practiced all together, like drums and all the guitars together, I think it was in 2020, like or
Yeah.
maybe 2019. I can't even remember exactly when was the last time that we all played together. So we absolutely have to get together before we can say like, okay, we'll record this time, because what we do is we write stuff, we send it to each other, and we add, like everyone adds like their own instruments, and it works well, but there's a lot of songs that we've never played together. So
Yeah.
it's hard to say exactly when we can record or when we could release something because we definitely have to practice in person first. So hopefully 2022, but I'm not sure exactly. I'm feeling more hopeful now because things are getting better. So I feel like we'll be able to all gather soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe 2022.
Talking about Halifax, I was talking to my friend earlier. We're like hockey fans, and I was at work, and I was saying that Canada, going back to the hockey thing, Canada should have more hockey teams because Canada is, I mean, it's hockey is everything in Canada. And I was
Uh-huh.
saying that Halifax should have a team because, I mean, they don't have any type of professional sports in Halifax, and I think that like people would draw to it because they would be. I think the fans would be crazy in Halifax if they actually like could get an NHL team up there.
Yeah, it's
Do
true.
you agree?
Yeah, no, yeah, I do agree. It's yeah, so technically I think that the Canadians are the only like the last East Coast team, right? Because you have like the Maple Leafs from Toronto,
Yeah.
and then there's no other team, right?
Well, Ottawa,
Uh,
Ottawa is kind of Ottawa Senators.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah. So,
like even Hamilton would be great to have a hockey team too. I know Winnipeg didn't have a team for a long time, and then when they finally got a team back there after years and years and years, their fans are crazy. So that's why like I was talking to my friend about Halifax. I'm like that would be the perfect place for like someone
yeah, we
said
gotta make it happen. We gotta convince the Haligonians to have a team.
yes, definitely. Now, speaking of bands, are you involved in any other bands? I know, like, a lot of people like to kind of get their hand in a bunch of other bands. I know Sean was talking about having a band with you in COVID, obviously, like, hurts that. But
Uh-huh.
are you working on anything else besides these two bands?
Uh, well, I have I'm not currently like actively working on other stuff, but I've been talking to so um I know someone from Ontario, and we've been talking about doing like kind of like a Boards of Canada-ish kind of band or project. And I also talked with my partner about doing like a heavy shoegaze thing, but we haven't actually done anything. I would love to, but also I feel like since COVID happened and there's less things going on, my motivation for music has kind of gone down a little bit. Now
Yeah,
it's coming back, now that things are happening again. But for a while I was like, oh, what's the point of doing anything at this point? But so yeah, I haven't been involved like actively in anything, but there's been a lot of talking.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted I always ask because everybody always has like a side thing that
Oh
they're
yeah.
working on, and is just curious
Uh-huh.
on if you had something in the
Yeah.
you know working.
I tried doing a lot of solo things. So I recorded a couple songs for solo projects. Like I recorded a song that was like, oh, I'm gonna start my shoegaze solo project, and then I didn't do anything after that. And then I recorded another song, and I was like, I'm gonna try. This is gonna be like my title fight rip-off solo project. And then I recorded the guitars, and then I didn't do anything. So I think I do that a lot, but I haven't like truly been doing anything else.
Yeah. Now, when you first started playing shows, how was your nerves when you first started playing? Were you very nervous? Because I always say when I first started like screaming in a band, I had my back turned to the crowd for a while, and then I got more comfortable, and obviously I would face forward. But there was a lot of shows where I was like my back was turned just because of the nerves and stuff like that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
how was it for you? Were you nervous? And then when did the nerves kind of go away for you?
Yeah, I was extremely nervous the first time, because the first time I played a show, it was with a band that I have so much respect for. They're called the Discord of a Forgotten Sketch. I don't
Yeah,
know if you
I
know.
know them. Yep, I know them.
Okay. So yeah, they've been on for so long, and like I love this band. I respect the people so much, and I was like, oh my God, I'm playing with them. Like I'm such a newbie, and like I can barely play my instruments, and I didn't want to face back because it was a basement show. It was really small, and it would have looked really awkward. It would have been like too obvious. It was like if my back was facing the crowd. So
Yeah.
I was playing like facing the crowd, but my hand was shaking, and all the riffs that I had to do like string by strings, I was like shaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so exciting. And after the set was done, I was like, okay, I need to chill out because this was so much fun. and I need to stop freaking out and just like do the thing. I think I'm always nervous, but it doesn't affect me physically as much as it did the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When you were nervous and you stopped playing, though, you caught the fever of playing live. So obviously it was a
Oh
great
yeah.
feeling. You were nervous, but you felt that feeling where you were like, oh, I can do this. Like, I want to do this all the time now. I was like in the same type of predicament too. I was real nervous the first time, and then once that got over with, I was like, oh, I wanna play live as much as I can. Unfortunately, like the bands I was in and out of bands up in New Hampshire for 10 years, but I didn't play like a ton of shows. I think I'm like total, but I was in 4 different bands. I think we played maybe a total of 30 shows, but
Mhm.
you know, I got to play with some great bands that I loved. I got to play with Off Minor and Wolves and
Oh wow.
Me and Him Call It Us and also a Canada band called Cobra Noire. I don't know if you've ever heard
Oh
of
yeah,
them.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I know that.
got
Yeah.
to play them up in Vermont, Burlington, Vermont. So I got to play with a bunch of good bands. 10 Grand I played with. I set that show up. So it was fun. Backstabbers Incorporated, stuff like that. But yeah, I wish I had played more shows. That's why I sent you that video, just because like a
Uh-huh.
background on me. Because sometimes when I talk to people, it's like, well, who's this guy from New Hampshire? Like, what does he know? Like why is he in the scene at all? You know what I mean? So I kind of
Uh-huh.
just giving a background on what I've done and stuff like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, it's cool. I feel like these moments, like even if you like I don't think I've played that many shows either, but it's still like I don't know, it's crazy. I really love the feeling of playing live and the people you play with and the memories. And so yeah, even if
Yeah,
you did play like 150 shows, it's still relevant.
yeah, definitely. Now, what was the? Give me a couple bands that you played with live that blew you away when you saw them. When you in both bands, whether it be in Canada or when you played in the States, what? Just give me a couple bands that you were like, wow, this band is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, Frail Buddy, I can't not say it enough. Like we've played with them for like the whole tour, and I think every show we played with them, I was like, I was always blown away. Like every single show, and like I don't think any band that we've played with on this tour topped Frail Buddy. They're always so tight and like so powerful, so loud. So yeah, 100% Frail Buddy. Also, we played with Loma Prieta in Montreal and
Oh,
Jerome's
nice.
Dream.
Oh, nice.
That show, yeah, that show is really, really, really crazy with Respire too. And like I've seen Loma Prieta a couple times before that show, but normally it was just like a big wall of sound.
Yeah,
But this show, it like I could finally recognize the songs they were playing, and it was really amazing. And Jerome's Dream too. At first I didn't know what to expect, you know, after so long, but the show is completely amazing, like crazy. And I'm trying to. There was also one time with Dianacrawls we played in Quebec City with a band from Saskatchewan, I think, called the Faps. They're like a really fucked up band. They're really weird, but the show is really like crazy. Like it was really nuts. I wouldn't say it's because they were tight. It's just like the energy was so intense.
yeah.
It was really crazy. I'm trying to think of other bands. Oh, well, we played a couple shows with Worst Days with from Providence.
Yeah,
Do you know Worst Days?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we're really close with those guys, and I know they're not a band anymore, but we were really close with them, and I like the guitar player. I forget his name, but he shreds so much, and I really love them. There's definitely other bands, but I think it feels like it's been so long that I
Yeah. Can't
I
think
can't.
of like every band you played with.
Yeah, exactly. And the latest shows we've played, it's almost entirely with Frill Buddy because even like one of the last shows that I played was a show with Frill Buddy too, again,
Oh,
in
no
Montreal.
kidding. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
Now
Frill Buddy is
that's
pretty helpful.
that's Saskatchewan band. Do they have a band camp or anything like that? I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, yeah. It's the FAPS, like FAPS.
Yeah.
I can send you the link. It's do you know the band Tugnut?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, okay. Well, they're really, I don't know how to describe them. They're really like weird. They're really weird, but it's really sick. I really
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah, yeah. If you can send me the link, that would be
Mhm.
awesome. I'm
Yeah.
always up for listening to like new bands that I've never heard. And that reminds me of sometimes bands don't sound like the best on a recording, but then you see them live, and they're more of a
Mhm.
live band than like going into the recording studio and being a studio band. You
Mhm.
see that a lot because I think in my band, High School Sweethearts, I think we're a way better band live than we were when we recorded.
Mhm.
Do you see that a lot? I'm not
Oh
saying that
yeah.
Dianacrawls and Mahawa are like that at all. I'm just saying like in my background, that's how it was for us. And do you think
Yeah.
that's true?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that even I would say that for Diana Cross too, because I feel like it's a lot of the energy, and there's some things that you can't transpose in recording. You can't keep that through the recording. So yeah, definitely. And maybe the Fabs it's the same. Maybe you'll listen to them and you'll be like, oh, but live, it's just like there's so much more than just the music. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Also, I just remembered there's a band from Montreal that we played with them um, on the Halloween of 2019. They're called Dishpit, and they're also fucking incredible. Like they're also from Montreal, and I would like hands down say they're one of the best Montreal's band.
Nice.
They're
Yeah,
more
yeah.
like
You'll have. Please send me the link to that too.
yeah,
Like I said, I love listening to new bands and stuff like that. So please, like, send me the link. Before, like, I usually wrap up stuff. I do a rapid fire with everybody, and I also wanted to talk about movies because we did you do a little like story where you had like The Professional and Ichi the Killer, and I forget the other two movies, but like I saw those and I was like, oh my god, she watches these kind of movies. I'm a huge movie guy, so like I always wanted to just talk about like movies at the end of this like rapid fire thing. So I'll start off with the rapid fire question. Favorite New England punk hardcore band or screamo band from New England, meaning like Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire,
okay.
Connecticut, stuff like that.
I will absolutely have to say daughters, even though it's cliche, but it's still them.
Yeah, yeah. I think Daughters is mine too. I mean, Converge is very close, but Daughters is probably
Mhm.
my favorite as well. My second question: what was the first punk hardcore show you attended that you like went and saw a show for like hardcore
Uh,
screamo stuff?
okay. Oh shit, I'm trying to remember. I think it was, I don't know. Honestly, I can't remember. I remember my first show. It was a black metal show, but I can't remember like specifically screamo or hardcore.
Yeah. Do you remember the black metal band's name that you saw in that church?
Yeah, but don't judge me on that because I didn't know about Nazi black metal bands at the time. It was do you know the band? They're from France. They're called Peste Noire.
I have heard them. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, they're not a legit band. And there was another band from Quebec called Sombre Forêt.
I've never heard of
Sombre
that.
Forêt, if I say it with an English accent.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a crazy show, but they're not legit bands.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I was
my That's all right. My next question: all-time favorite punk hardcore show, screamo show you played as like in a band. What was your favorite show that you played? Give me one with Dianacrawls and then one with Mahanwa.
okay. I think my favorite show with Dianacrawls would be, we played a library in Quebec City, and that's when we played with the Faps. That I think that's my all-time favorite Dianacrawls show, but I have to say that we played both times at the New Friends Fest,
Yeah.
like the two shows that they had, the two events, and those were also extremely epic. And with Maree Noire, I think for the memories, I'm gonna say the show that we played in Providence with Frail Buddy, and it wasn't like the craziest show, but it's just the after party was so it was so nice that, and the memories, like we hung out in the park, so it's not necessarily the show, but it's more like the whole event.
Yeah.
But if I'm talking about show, it's definitely the Richmond show with Portrayal of Guilt and Infantile and yeah.
Nice. My next question: all-time favorite punk hardcore screamo show you attended that you didn't play?
I'm gonna say I think it would be the Graph show in Providence. No, actually, I'm gonna say we went to Washington D.C. to see City of Calipater and Pygmy Lash and Malady play.
Ooh.
So yeah, I think that's my all-time favorite show.
Wow,
There's
that's
probably
a good lineup. That's a good
yeah.
lineup right there.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
it really is. Yeah.
This is some of the movie questions I have. I'm a huge movie buff. I watch movies all the time. I try to watch as much as I can. Favorite? Oh, no. What was your last movie you watched?
This is crazy because the last movie I watched is really intense. I highly recommend it to anyone, but it's called Come and See. It's a Russian movie. So it's like a movie about the Second World War, but more with like from a Russian, like a Belarusian perspective.
Yeah.
And you follow a kid that had to go in war, and he sees like really extremely horrific stuff.
Yeah.
The movie is long, but it's extremely hard to watch. It's probably the like most extreme war movie I've seen, but it's really, really good.
Yeah. Come and See, that's what it's called?
Yeah, Come and See, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put that on my list.
It's really good.
Anything that I haven't seen, I'm like dying to see if somebody suggests something good like that. My next question: favorite all-time horror movie for you?
Favorite all-time horror movie? I feel like this question, I always have a different answer depending on what's my mood, but
Yeah.
I think, I'm tempted to say Evil Dead at the moment, but I don't know. I think Evil Dead is just like a classic.
Yeah.
Just like a classic, and I love the stop motion horror,
Yeah.
but also I really love David Cronenberg and like body horror stuff.
Yeah.
So probably any like early David Cronenberg movies. I answered No Funerals. I answered like a horror movie question for Halloween last year, and I said Naked Lunch because
Oh yeah, Naked Lunch. Nice.
it's technically not a horror movie, but like to me, losing your sanity is horror.
Yeah.
Like losing the grasp of reality is horror. So yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. Speaking of David Cronenberg, have you seen Possessor by his son Brandon Cronenberg?
Yeah, I saw it a couple months ago.
Oh, I thought it was so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
The weird thing about Brandon too is he's only made 2 movies. His last movie before Possessor was, I think it was like Antiviral or something like that. Is that
Yeah,
what it's called?
I haven't seen that one, but yeah, I don't think he's done a lot, right?
I think he only did a short short film. Then he did Antiviral. I think that's the name of it. And then there was like an 8-year gap before Possessor came out, which is
Hmm.
crazy. And now he's working on another one. I forget the name of it. He just announced that one of the Skarsgård actors is he got him for his new movie. But Possessor was such a great movie, especially the unrated version. Just blew me away. I wasn't expecting
Okay.
that when I watched it. I was like, holy shit,
Uh-huh.
this movie was crazy.
Yeah, me too. I really liked it. I really liked the idea of the movie, like it's kind of like futuristic in a way. Like, yeah, I really liked it too.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Speaking of like movies too, there's so many good French movies too that like a lot of people haven't seen. Have you seen Killing Zoe? I know it's an old movie, but have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
I'll send you like a trailer for it. It's really really good. It's kind of in like the Tarantino vein of stuff.
Okay.
Eric Stoltz, I don't know if you know that actor. He's like the main actor in it.
Okay.
And it's a lot of French speaking in it too. So it's some American and I mean some English and then some French, but it's really really good.
Mhm.
I'll send you the trailer to that. I also wanted to say, have you seen Inside? Unrated. It's a French film about kind of like a home invasion. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
That's probably one of my top 5 horror movies. It's basically, without giving it away, it's like there's a head-on collision and 2 ladies are pregnant, and one lady, her husband dies, but her baby is saved and she's saved in the hospital, and they think that like the lady that was in the other car just passed away, but she ends up living, and she was pregnant as well and lost her baby, so she thinks that it's the girl's fault that killed her baby. So
Uh,
she does a home invasion on the girl, and she's trying to like cut the baby out of her to take the baby for herself.
okay, wow.
And
Okay,
it's
you'll have to
very
send me that. I need to
it's
watch it.
yeah, it's very very intense. Like it's crazy
Uh-huh.
intense. But yeah, like I always tell everybody that doesn't watch French movies, it's they put out so many good movies. Like Raw
Oh
is
yeah.
good, High
Yeah, right.
Tension.
I was gonna mention Raj actually.
High Tension is really good.
Mhm.
Frontiers is great. What else is crazy? Revenge,
Irreversible is really,
Irreversible.
and I mean like Gaspar Noé, like Enter the Void, or like
Have you?
Climax, like you
Oh,
know Gaspar
Climax.
Noé.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So
Climax is
yeah.
so weird. I watched Climax and I was like afterwards I was like I was kind of
Uh-huh.
like shaking my head. I'm like, what did I watch? Like there, it was.
It's so crazy. Climax is like most of it is improvised too. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
most of it isn't like uh planned ahead. It's
yeah,
yeah, I really like that movie.
yeah. It's crazy. It's definitely not for some, but I enjoy watching it.
Mm,
Back to my questions. I'm a huge
yes.
hip hop guy too. I've recorded a bunch of hip hop shows. I've always been recording stuff ever since like I was recording stuff in like late '80s. That's when I first started recording hardcore shows, and then as years went on, I started recording a lot of hip hop shows. If you've been listening to hip hop at all, what have you been listening to for
Yeah.
hip hop?
Yeah. Yeah, I listen to hip hop like I would say not all the time, but a lot of the time. Well, today I was listening to Future, also the latest Tyler, the Creator album. Um, but Robin, the drummer in my band, and Dianacrawls, he's done like a playlist, like a hip hop playlist. I've been listening to that a lot. I can't mention every artist that's on the list, but um, yeah, I don't know.
Now,
Today I listened to Tyler, the Creator. I can say that.
nice. Now on that playlist, does he kind of go back into the '90s too, with like
Oh
the
yeah.
more golden era stuff that happened? Is that on there
Yeah,
too
he's
as well to
definitely
join?
into the earlier stuff. I'm not like a connoisseur of hip hop, but like some of the artists that I listen to a lot are like MF Doom or like Earl Sweatshirt. Tyler, the creator, mostly them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. My next question. I only have a few more. What is your favorite song to play live? One with Dianacrawls and one with Mahawa. Like, what is your favorite song to play live?
Yeah. Favorite song to play live for Dianacrawls is I'm fucked now because in the band we say the number, like the
Oh yeah,
seven.
yeah,
Now I have to remember the name, but I really love Kinky Kills, one of the songs that is on that split with Massanera
yeah.
and Pure Body and Infant Island. So that song I really love to play it live, and the other one is not the last song on the first EP, the second to last song on the first EP. That's my favorite song to play live too, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
But,
My favorite songs are, I think, like on Sporadic Defenstration is what's the name of the song? Roller Coasting Stimulation is my favorite song on that by
oh
far.
yeah,
That song rips so bad. It's like I love that song. And then on Glitter Manifesto, I think Memoirs is my favorite song. Like,
oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
those,
I
those
think Memoir is also one of my favorite to play live. It's so much fun to play, and it like there's this part that goes like really heavy. Yeah, I really love to play that song too. I think Maree Noire, favorite songs to play would be um the I feel bad because I literally don't know the names of the song, but the first song on the split with Amity. So there's two songs. First one.
first song, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That
I
happens. That
really
you know what? That happens so much with the people I talk to, and for me too, because my old band, I never knew the names of the songs, and I was writing the lyrics and like doing all all the names of the songs, and I still would be like, all right, we're playing track 5 right now. All right, let's do 7.
exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I
Uh-huh.
totally understand where you're coming from. I think a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people that I talk to, it's like that too, as well.
Yeah, we keep saying that we have to stop to doing that because we can never remember the names. So like now when we practice Dianacrawls, we're like, no, it's not the 13th. We have to give it a name now because otherwise we'll never remember it.
I know. I guess I should have wrote like a playlist when we play live, but I never did. We would just like do random things. We'd always start with the same song we always did, and then when I was in that band, we always did Firestorm by Earth Crisis at the end,
Oh,
just as a cover,
that's
just to be
epic.
kind of just kind of be like
Uh-huh.
fun or whatever. So, but
Uh-huh.
everything in between there, we were just like, how about we play this song? It was never the same set, so we should have, I guess, had a set list and wrote it down and did it, but
Hmm.
whatever. I mean, it
Yeah,
happens.
it definitely helps.
So my last question is there any new bands in the heavier vein that you could suggest someone that has maybe hasn't heard these bands go listen to them right now that you've been listening to or that you just like?
Um, uh, I've been listening to a lot of pop recently, so I'm I feel like I'm not a good person to recommend anything, but well, actually, an album that just came out recently that I've been binging a lot is the latest Fiddlehead album.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I would highly recommend that album, but if I go on the heavier side, um, honestly, I feel like I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so somebody just said Soul Glow, that new three
Oh yeah,
song thing that
yeah.
they dropped. Oh, so good,
Yes,
so good.
actually, I should, yes, 100%. Everybody should listen to Soul Glow. If there's one band to recommend, it's definitely Soul Glow. I saw
Yeah,
that they got signed on Epitaph, and I was like, I'm so
yeah,
happy for them. They're like the band of the decade, I find.
yeah. They're so good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited. I missed my chance to see them when they were came by, but if they come up in New England again, I'm definitely gonna go see it
Hmm.
wherever they are. I was lucky enough to see Jerome Stream and Loma Prieta when they came to Somerville, Massachusetts, and I
Hmm.
hadn't seen Jerome Stream for a very, very long time. I saw them maybe in, I want to say, it could be late 90s. They played up a show up in New Hampshire with Reversal of Man and
Uh-huh.
Ascot. And when I first saw Jerome Stream, it was crazy because Jeff never used a microphone. He would just scream.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was never a microphone near him, ever. And
Uh-huh.
he would just scream, and he was very tall. And I was like, what? Who is this man?
Yeah,
And
and
then
like the
I,
really high pitch, like, uh-huh.
yeah, it was so crazy back then. And then, so like you said, I didn't know what to expect. And I know his vocal style had changed throughout the newer album. And then when I saw him live, he was screaming again, which I was like, I like the stuff where he wasn't screaming, but he was screaming on those songs, and I was like, whoa!
Hmm.
I was like, wow, it
Oh
sounds
yeah.
so good. I was like blown away at like he
Uh-huh.
kind of switched it up and went back to screaming.
Yeah, me
I,
too.
I love those guys so much. I talked to Jeff on here as well, and such a great guy. Eric's a great guy too. Everybody in that band is just
Yeah,
really, really nice. So
yeah,
yeah, I just wanted to.
I was really surprised when we played with them because I remember I was on the merch table and I wasn't expecting them to talk to us at all because I was like we're just like probably kids to them, and also we don't play like real screamo like. And but no, the it was a I talked to the drummer a lot. I can't remember his name, but he was like really interested in what we were doing, and he was like, "Is there a good scene in Montreal?" And like asking questions and like asking us like since when we started doing this, and like he just like really entertained the conversation with us. And then the guitar player singer also talked to us, and I was like, "Damn, these guys are really really cool people. They were
Yeah,
really really sweet."
yeah, that's definitely true. And my final question is, if there's any bands that you haven't played with, who do you want to play with live? Obviously, Daughters would be a great show for you guys.
Yeah.
But what other bands would you want to play with that you haven't played with yet?
Um. I would love to. Well, I saw, like, remember in 2019, the Locusts did a couple shows again. So
Yeah,
if we could play with them, it would be really crazy. Other than that, um, probably there's a couple of West Coast bands that I would like to play with that I just find they sound so good, like Nuvoloscura. I can't say the
oh
name.
yeah, yeah,
I really love this band. Or uh, like if I could bring back Beau Navire, with members of Loma Prieta.
yeah.
It's one of my favorite all-time screamo bands. So if I could make this band come back to life, I would want to play with them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The funny thing is, I was so slept on Blind Girls from Australia.
Oh yeah,
I had never really heard them until like
they're so good.
a few weeks ago, and then I played their latest album, and I was blown away at how sick that album is. That album
Uh-huh.
is so sick.
I think we sent them a message to tour with them when we were supposed to go to Europe. We sent
Mhm.
them a message, but then I think they were already touring with another band, like in their plans. But
Yeah,
yeah, they're really fucking awesome. Yeah.
yeah. Someone just had mentioned Foxtails. Did you ever play with Foxtails?
Yeah,
You
we
played
played
at
with
the
them.
fest, yeah. You played at the
Yeah,
fest, right?
exactly. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Mm.
really like Foxtails too. They're doing some really exciting stuff too. Almost like they switch it up too a little bit.
Mhm.
Kind of how
Yeah, they have
Dianacrawls does.
the jazzy parts and like the singing parts. Yeah, they're really good. When they played New Friends Fest, I think it's the set that like threw me on the ground most because like the vocalist Megan like literally like threw their guts on the floor. It was
Yeah,
so
yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah. Her vocal range is insane too because she has
Mhm.
that beautiful like singing voice, and then she can really like scream, and sometimes like the screeching that comes out too is it's just so intense. I really love that band a lot too as well.
Yeah, they're crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome if Dianacrawls could come down like and play a bunch of shows with them in the New England area or down the East Coast. That would be amazing.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're not home and you're one of your friend's house. So I just want to thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. I was so stoked to get to talk to you for a little while and talk about the band you were in.
Thank you so much for asking me, and thank you for doing this too. It's really nice to see like people chatting about their interests or like their favorite bands. So yeah, thank you for doing that too.
No problem, no problem. And also, when things get back to normal again, I live like on the southern tip of New Hampshire, right on the Massachusetts border. And I have a huge basement. I live in a house kind of in a very small, like off the beat path. There's like a little, what is it called? Like a little turnaround. There's only like maybe
Yeah.
7 houses in my neighborhood. And I was thinking about having like basement shows before because I haven't finished the basement yet, and so before I finish the basement, I was thinking about maybe having a few shows, maybe like towards the end of the year, maybe in 2022 when things start like getting back to normal. But if there's ever a chance that you guys are around and you're looking for a show, please hook me up. If I can't
Definitely.
I can't have a basement show in my house. I know, venues around here, whether it be a VFW or even like the Middle East in Boston. I have connections with that place in Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is like a legendary club in and around Boston. So if you guys need any help, please reach out to me. I'll do whatever I can to get you guys shows around here. I know me and Justin from New Forms is talking about like setting up shows too once things get back to normal again too. So please stay in touch.
I'll definitely hit you up for sure. I hope that we can go to the States with Dianacrawls and with Maree Noire again. So yeah, if we do, I'll definitely hit you up.
All right, that'd be great. I'll do my best too, and I'm also gonna push. I'm gonna I'm gonna talk to Nick and Lex about getting you guys on a little.
Please do.
I'm gonna do that. I'll reach out to him in the next couple of days.
Oh yeah.
So once again,
if that ever happens, it's gonna be my dream come true. I'm totally fangirling right now.
Thank you so much again. I hope you have a great night and stay safe out there. And please stay in touch with me.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a good night too.
All right, you too. Bye.
Okay, bye.